My favorite television show, perhaps the greatest television show of all time, is Patrick McGowan's 1967 classic, Prisoner. What makes this show great is the attention it gives to this idea of the individual. It thoughtfully explores what it means to be an individual within the confines of society. And it does so with realm and guise of science fiction, a little bit of a spy thriller, and a lot of surrealness thrown in there for good measure. Now, as it often is with things that are great, Hollywood likes to exploit our nostalgia and bring all these great things back. So in some ways, it was no surprise that in 2009, there was an attempt to make a remake of The Prisoner. Now, if you're familiar with the original and have no idea what I'm talking about with a remake of The Prisoner, count yourself fortunate. While time has softened my critique only slightly, this show didn't deserve the title. Now, if it had just been a show with a lot of Easter eggs for Prisoner fans, the storyline was enough that it could have done that well. It wasn't as original as 1967's Prisoner, but it still works well enough. But the problem is that they wanted to have that title. They wanted to be a remake. They wanted to restore that nostalgia that Prisoner fans had the original. But they did so not understanding what the original Prisoner was about. For that reason, this remake they did, when it came to its conclusion, fell flat, fell far beneath what the original Prisoner had to offer us. Now, unfortunately, The Prisoner isn't the only work out there that has been misunderstood. We see this often with God's own workings in the world. We see this too in God's working in the Transfiguration, the very thing we celebrate this morning. Now, the Transfiguration is a miraculous event. And we see Jesus all of a sudden clothed in different garments, clothed in brilliant, sparkling light. And they are with him all of a sudden, Moses, Elijah. And one of the witnesses, one of the three witnesses here, Simon Peter, sees what's occurring and says, wouldn't it be a great idea for us to make 3 dwellings, one for each of you here? And we're told in Luke that Peter did not understand, did not know what he was saying. That not knowing, that's very much what it means to not understand. Peter didn't understand what was actually going on here. He thought that Moses and Elijah were here to stay. He thought he knew what it was that Jesus' earthly ministry was truly about. Now we know from Scripture, we've seen this recently even with the Ascension, that Jesus' disciples thought that he was bringing the kingdom of heaven to earth right now. And we know from other accounts in Scripture, Transfiguration being one, Jesus' traveling on the road to Emmaus being another, and many others, that Jesus had to sit down and explain to his disciples what his mission truly was. He had to explain what it was that he was actually doing in the world, what his ministry actually meant. He did this because they weren't quite getting it. Now, maybe Peter thought that Moses and Elijah were there because they were getting ready to be part of the assault against the Roman Empire, the triumphant military victory the kingdom of heaven was going to have over the powers of this earth. It might be just quite simply they thought, hey, this is it. Kingdom of heaven is finally coming to Israel. Moses and Elijah, these are the first two coming. So we've got to get ready for them. We've got to make them feel welcome. We've got to give them a place to live, a place to stay. Whatever the reason, whatever it is that Peter thought, he was missing out on the deeper meaning of the Transfiguration. Again, this is not unlike the 2009 remake's stance, the original Prisoner. The Transfiguration, though, it's meant to be poetry. It's meant to be art. When the former Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Williams, talks about Transfiguration, the sense that he gives us is that this is a living icon. Living icon, a living work of art to bring us closer to God. This is God's living piece. This is his artwork, his icon, meant to convey the truth to us about who Jesus really is. We see Moses here. Moses, that representative of the law. We also see Elijah there, the representative of the prophets. And Elijah is a particularly good one, because even now, Jewish brethren, every Passover Seder, they leave a place open for Elijah, expecting one day for Elijah to come there and have that Passover Seder with them. That's how much Elijah was respected. It's how much Elijah still is respected. So here we have Jesus, flanked by the law, prophets, the very ones that Jesus himself has said time and time again that he has come to fulfill. This was what it means for Jesus to be the Messiah, the Christ, the chosen one, the anointed one. It's that word, Messiah, Christ, really means. Jesus is there to fulfill all that has come before, in bringing in what it is that God has planned, bringing God's plan for the world for us to its conclusion. Now, why did the Transfiguration happen in the way that it did? Who, aside from God, really knows? Yet, for all the creative juices God gave us to help us make beautiful works of art, why can't God Himself, create beautiful works of art in this world? Him being the creator of everything that is in us. The Transfiguration is a mystery. And it's okay for us not to understand all the whys of what happened in the house, particular details of how this event came about. Because what it is a physical, living icon given to us in this world to show us who Jesus is. We shouldn't try to dumb it down, bring it on our level. We shouldn't look at it in any sort of way that tries to fit God's words to our understanding, to our little box that we often get what God is doing in this world wrong. We often don't fully understand what it is that God is doing. But instead, we should be okay with the mystery of how this happened, as long as we understand the truth of why God made His physical living icon for us. This way, we can come to realize that God's ways are not our own, that what God is working in this world is greater than anything that we can ever conceive.